And just like that, we are back in business again with some more 3 3/4 inch vintage collection action figures. Let's get into this. All right, welcome to another episode of Paul's Collectibles. It's good to have you. Thank you for joining me as always. I really appreciate it. And today we are back looking at another set of 3 3/4 inch action figures from the vintage collection. And I got to tell you, I thought this year was just going to be all helmets for a little while there, and then boom, boom, rapid fire, 2 sets of action figures came in. Now this is the 4-pack of Survive or Escape Order 66, which has Ahsoka and 3 droids. And it came from Amazon, and it wasn't due here till later this summer. And then out of the blue, I got an email, literally yesterday, and they said, hey, we're going to be delivering your figures tomorrow. And here they are. So we're going to take a look at this set, get them out of the box they come in, and see what we think. Okay, so this is another one of those commemorative 4-packs, is what I like to call it. There's 4 carded figures inside this larger box, and it's obviously meant to represent the Escape from Order 66 that we saw in Season 7 of the Clone Wars series. And this box came in another mailer box from Hasbro, and I got 2 of these, and those 2 boxes were inside boxes with padding. So just so you know, like, this thing got bent up fairly good, and it's warped in here like it got wet or something. So I left the other one in the mailer box, so hopefully it's in better condition. But if you're getting these and you're worried about this outer box, you might be disappointed. Now on the back, we have the scene from that episode. You got Ahsoka, Tano, and the 3 droids, where she's discussing with them what's going to happen and how they're going to escape what has become a tragedy during the series. And then on the sides, it just says figuras, same over here, figurines, and on the bottom is just some legalese. So we're going to get all 4 of those out and take a quick look at them. Okay, there's the 4 figures out of the box. We've got the Ahsoka Tano, Siege of Mandalore, R7A7, CH33P or Cheap, and RGG1GG. Let's get a close look at each one of those really fast. Okay, I hate to say it, but here we go again. And I mentioned this in my last video on action figures, that this is just a straight repack. I mean, we've gotten a number of different Ahsoka Tanos over the last year. I mean, it's gotten to the point where now I'm starting to lose track of which came from where, but there's one with blue lightsabers, one with white lightsabers when she's older, one with green lightsabers when she's younger. I mean, they just really, you would think Ahsoka Tano was the main focus of the entire Star Wars trilogy at this point. But they did do a new card, and they put Siege of Mandalore on there. Like I said, see a different location, same figure. The card is actually really good. I can't complain. I do like this when they use the animated style and a realistic interpretation on the figure. That's pretty cool. And she's loaded for bear, got her lightsabers, and doing good. But not much to say on that figure. As a matter of fact, we're not even going to go over it again, because if you don't know about this figure yet, then go back on 100 other videos about her, because we just keep getting this same Ahsoka Tano figure in 2 different variations of age over and over again. And Ahsoka Tano, Siege of Mandalore, is VC202. Next up, from Star Wars The Clone Wars, obviously, we have R7A7, a astromech droid. He's got the light green name pill on the back there and the light green figure back. And that's a good card. Once again, I think all of these are probably going to be similar in as much as they're going to have the animated version of the figure in the card, and then a realistic interpretation of the figure inside the bubble, which I think is really cool. That's a direct to the point and gets it done card. I have no complaints about that. But let's get a good look at that figure. Okay, now maybe call me crazy, but I think they could have made a smaller bubble on here. I know maybe it would have cost a little bit more money, and then you could see more of the card, because the figure only takes up like half the bubble. But oh, whatever. And this looks like what I imagined it was going to be, and that's a repaint of that recent R2-D2 figure that we got, which I don't hate. I like this color scheme. This teal green, lime green, and purple is actually really cool looking. I've never been much of a droids guy, but I do like that coloring on there, and it looks really good. So I'm kind of excited to get this figure in the collection for sure. And R7A7 is VC322, which just dawned on me is way ahead of where the Ahsoka figure was. Although she has the new back, I'm beginning to think this is a straight repack, except for the new back of VC202. Now, I don't remember that card specifically, but that doesn't mean anything. We got inundated with Ahsoka Tanos. So maybe this is exactly the same thing we've already gotten, just with the new back and VC202, since those numbers are so far apart. Next up, we have CH33P, or Cheap, on the deep red name pill, and then deep red background. Once again, it's the interpretation, or excuse me, it's an actual screen grab, looks like, or something there close, of the animated version of the figure from the Clone Wars. And this one suffers horribly from what I'm talking about. Look at this teeny tiny figure and all this empty bubble in here. And this is obviously based off of the Chopper style of droids, but man, I don't know. Maybe they could have done something different, but who knows? That just looks silly to me. Let's take a look at the figure. Okay, so this little guy's not quite as colorful as his friend. He's got kind of the grayish dome with the yellow accents and the white bottom down here. It looks like he has that little arm sticking out and the dish on the top like Chopper does. And this is obviously a repaint of Chopper. Not a totally exciting figure, kind of fun to have, especially if you're a droids guy. I've never been much of a droids guy, but overall not bad. Like I said, clearly a repaint of the Chopper figure. And CH33P is VC323. And then finally, to round out the set, we have RG-G1, also known as GG, and he's actually really cool. I kind of like the style of this character, and he's got like what I call the cone head version of the astromech droid, which is really cool. And once again, this card, all of them are pretty similar as far as the droids are concerned. They just give you a picture of the droid on what is the background of obviously the base that they were having these battles on towards the end of Season 7 when Order 66 went into effect. But let's get a good look at that figure. At least on this one, the difference in the amount of figure versus the bubble isn't so bad because he's got that really stretched out dome, but still a little silly looking as far as the amount of vacant space in that bubble. Okay, and this guy really stands out to me because I really like this dark gray and black deco with the gold accents on there. It's very regal looking, very kind of sinister looking actually, and he's got the weird domed head as well, which is really cool. So it looks like the bottom part of this is just reused from the R2-D2, and I'm sure this head is from something that I'm not familiar with, or it might be a new sculpt, but I'm sure we've probably seen that head somewhere before. But they did a really good job of painting this one. The gold lines, there's actually, it's not 1 and 2. If you look very closely, it would appear there's like 4 or 5 little tiny pinstripe lines to make the larger line, and they nailed it. It looks really good, and I like the gold and black deco on this one. Nice. And RG-G1 on his gold background here is VC324. But there you have it, just a quick look at the Escape from Order 66 4-pack with Ahsoka and 3 droids. And something I failed to mention, if you're one of those people that's super particular about your figures, you would think that since they came in that 4-pack, they would come unpunched and there wouldn't be any damage. But each of these has slight damage to the hanger post, except for the Ahsoka figure. So keep that in mind if you're very, very particular and you like to get your action figures graded or something. The outer box was just nearly ruined, and this is on all the figures. So I'm not sure what's going on. They came in good condition, so they were packed in like that into the shipper box, which then went into an Amazon box. So you got me. And in closing, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, maybe consider doing that for me. That's a great way to support my efforts here at Paul's Collectibles. And if you're already a subscriber or somebody who's been watching my videos for a really long time, you already know. I greatly appreciate you. And with that, I'll see you on the next video.